it would work perfectly well, like so. We bring the bowl over. I am rushing, but like I said, I've got 5 dishes, but really does not take that long. I'm going to try and do everything in around 20 minutes or so. It's the prep which takes the longest, honestly. To get the prep ready on this, it takes the longest. Right, we're going to do that. This is, like I said, a very simple version of guacamole. There are loads of different recipes you can add to it, you can change it. Different regions have slightly different. Like I said, I'm just doing it as a kind of a dip for your little summery foods. So that goes in there, like that. Let me just wipe my hands quickly. So when you're working in the kitchen, like I do, you've got to learn to multitask. So I've got here, look, now you've got the garlic starting to infuse. I'm going to turn it down ever so slightly because I want it to infuse. I don't want to cook it, I don't want to fry it. I just want the garlic and the chili to work wonderfully together like so. And we can chuck in the prawns in a little while, but you want to chuck the prawns last minute. Don't overcook anything. So, guacamole is over there. What do I want to take for my guacamole? I'm going to take, obviously, some lime. Bit of lime, just roll it. There you go, like so. I'm going to roll it like that. Now the lime adds a bit of acidity. What it also does as well is stop the avocado from browning or oxidizing. So you want a good squeeze of lime in there. Now you could add a little bit of Tabasco or a little bit of jalapeno if you like. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to keep this one a bit more simple. So I'm going to add some salt, good pinch of salt in there. I'm going to add a pinch of cayenne pepper. Okay, that's just a pinch of cayenne pepper. That's just for the heat that's going to go in there. I'm going to add a tiny bit of coriander, not much. Just want a couple of leaves in there, like that. You don't want too much coriander. You just want it just to infuse. You don't want to have like overly powerful on the coriander. So really, for this much, a couple of leaves, 4 or 5 leaves, it's more than enough. Slice this one, very fine, like that. So that goes in there. And then for a bit of freshness, now you could add a bit of spring onion, works well as well in this one. But for a bit of freshness, I'm going to add a little tomato. These tomatoes are beautiful, by the way. Again, I always try to say this, and I say it so often, buy the best you can afford. Now this tomato here, the British Gum, they are a bit more expensive, mind, but honestly, you're going to be tasting tomato, not plastic. And unfortunately, you get a lot of these tomatoes that are just mass grown, and that, they've been hybrid tomatoes that are produced because of their size and because of their color more than their flavor. So when you taste in a tomato what it's supposed to taste like, you notice the difference. That's why when you go to other countries and to Mediterranean holidays, and you're like, oh wow, the tomatoes are so good. And that's because they grow them there and they taste like tomatoes. Right, so that's in there. That's your simple guacamole. It's very simple. Again, you could zhuzh it up if you wanted. It's nice and simple. I like it just because it's a great dip. If you're doing like little sandwiches or something, works perfect. So that's there. We put that on the side. So this is now starting to brown wonderfully. I'm going to take fresh prawns over here. Just give that another minute, not just yet. I want to wait another minute. Right, so we have another pan here, as you can see. And this is going to be, I'm going to do a bit of spinach for you guys. Just a little bit of kind of a Parmesan spinach. Again, we're staying in the Mediterranean region at the moment. We're going to hop over to Italy and we're going to take a kind of a Parmesan style spinach. So it's a very simple dish. Again, only a few ingredients. Another side dish, if you wanted to do, as you see, not too much meat. We've been meat heavy, especially after Eid. I've still got loads of lamb left in my freezer. So I'm trying to cut it down. Vegetables, a little bit of prawns in there, just for a bit more protein. And some cheese. Right, so that's that. This is going. We're going to get this up to a nice little temperature. And we're going to add that in there. Again, I'm going to add a clove of garlic. We like our garlic in the Med. So a clove of garlic. Get rid of this. Like so. There it is, there. Clear up a bit. Just crush. Boom. Clove of garlic goes in there. Now, you just want to infuse it. Also, I can hear. We've got to use your other senses when you're cooking. I've got to hear when this is ready. It's going to start to sizzle, and then we can start to crack on with that one. I also have a dish that I'm going to be doing. A little salad. Not so simple as salad. I'm going to add a few peppers in there, mix it up a bit of fruit, pomegranate. I love pomegranate in salad, and some nuts. It's one of the salads that I really do enjoy. Works really well. So, any leaves you like. I've just got some mixed leaves, you know, the simple ones you can buy in the bag, prepped. If you want to use a bit of iceberg, if you want to use a bit of cos, it's entirely up to you. So, bit of salad that's there. Into that, let's go here. I'm going to add some pomegranate. Love pomegranate in salad. And at the moment, pomegranate is my kids' favourite thing. They love pomegranate. I normally give them pomegranate and yogurt for dessert. It's their favourite. So, break a few of these pecan nuts in there. Like so. That goes in there. Pinch of salt. Very little spices and herbs. There's not a lot going into this dish. It's all letting the flavours sing for themselves. That's in here. And now I'm going to add, I've got this half tomato. I'm going to add a few more tomatoes. That's going to go in here. Like so. Let's take 2 of those. Like that. Let's take a few of these. Like that. And let's take some peppers. Now, what I am going to do as well, I'm going to get the other pan on. That's going to be for my halloumi that's going to go in there. Because I'm going to put it in a pan, then I'm going to put it in the oven just to cook down. So, again, I'm multitasking a lot, but keep up, guys. This is the kind of way I work. This is how I work when I'm at home. It drives my family crazy because I'm all over this place. And when I'm at work, imagine then you're cooking for, you know, a few hundred people every day. You have to cook like this. So, I'm taking my little tomatoes. I'm cutting them in different ways, just so you can kind of get different textures going through. Love tomatoes, I really do. I'm not a big fan of the kind of overly cooked tomatoes, but I do love tomatoes. So that's in there. Spinach is going in. You're going to have a little sizzle and a crack. This bag of baby spinach. Honestly, it's the best thing. Starts like that. It's going to reduce down in a second. That's that. So tomatoes going in. Like, and I'm going to have then some peppers. I'm not normally a fan of peppers in salad, but the last few days I've been like, fancy a pepper salad. So this is why I've kind of gone that way. And again, I'm going to cut them in different directions. Cut this in half. Let's take this one off. And take this one off. And we're going to cut this one in little strips. So, it's a lot going on. This is when I'm in my element. This is when I love it. I'm not normally talking when I've got so much going on, but I've got to keep going. We're doing on this one. There you go. And then we get some red peppers in there. Now, everything's going to go in now at the same time. So it's going to be a bit of a manic rush because we've got a lot to do. That salad there, good glug olive oil, like that. And I've got some cider vinegar. It goes in there like that. We'll keep it here. We'll toss that over in a second. Now then, spinach is on. I'm going to put my prawns on. You're going to have a sizzle and a crackle. There, there. Look at that. That one could be off. So if you want to see what it's like to be a chef, observe. This is exactly what's going on here. Prawns are in there beautifully. Let's get that all mixed up like that. Look at this. Prawns are in there. Just sizzling away. Now you're going to have that oil in there. The garlic oil is going to fuse. You got that beautiful succulent prawns that are in there. And you've just turned it down ever so slightly because you just want them bubbling away. You don't want them over the top heat. Now for the spinach, touch of pepper, touch of salt. I'm going to take a little sprinkle of paprika and a pinch of cayenne in there. I'm going to add a touch of cream. Whoa, look at that. We're just going to cook this down. Just want to cook this down. You don't want to overcook it. You just want to gently wilt that spinach down. And I've got some pre-shredded parmesan. like that. You don't want to overcook, okay? You've got to be careful. Nice helping of Parmesan. You really want that to sing. Just want to wilt that down ever so slightly. Now, I would take out the garlic because the worst thing you want someone just munching on a whole piece of garlic, so that can go to the bin. Like that. That's almost done, just for 2 seconds more. So over here, we're going to start to do the halloumi. Now I'm starting to rush. Halloumi is going in, like so. That's like that. I'm going to take this tomato into the little extra juice that's there. I'm going to place that on top. That now is going to go into the oven. You know what? Can't waste that. That's going in there. Try not to break everything. That's going to go in the oven. Minute or two, it's good to go. Right, I'm almost ready to start plating up, or nearly ready for everything. So that's in there. Look at that. That spinach, just wilted down. You don't have to overcook it again because that's going to continue to cook. That goes in there. If you had, for example, some grilled chicken, would work wonderfully. Grilled chicken, whack that in there with the grilled chicken. Maybe toss it in some pasta or something. Perfect dish. This is front and center. Turn these ones down now. So we've got number one. We have number two over here. We've got our third dish, which I'm just going to toss this salad to get all this together. Oh, we still got loads of time. Look at the freshness. This is one of those dishes that it's a beautifully healthy combination. You've got a bit of everything, okay? You got your fruit, your fibre, you've got a bit of protein, a little bit of carbs, fresh bread, because we've got to have some fresh bread that we've got over here. That's going to move over to this side a bit. That's like that. This is, honest to God, one of my ideal kind of dishes. Now, I'm going to chuck over here just a little bit of the little drizzle of chili oil, like that. Perfect. Prawns cooking down nicely. I'm going to add another little pinch of salt in there. Just mix that up. Again, look, I haven't fried these. It's not like I'm frying them. Okay, you're just going to kind of confit everything. So you want that flavour just in there. Oh, and that olive oil gets served. Then I'm going to add a touch of the fresh garlic without throwing it everywhere. All right, touch of fresh garlic over there. Just for a minute, just to kind of get in. That's in there. Just another minute. This is honestly, this is so good. You want to make sure it's all cooked evenly. I'm going to turn it up just for a second. Just get a little bubble on. Right, that's that. What are we missing? Nothing. Just that one there. That's almost ready. Start to plate up. Now, honestly, I'm lucky today. I'm going to bring it right up to the wire. Prawns for me are done. They're coming off. We're going to go over to here. We're going to pour all of it. Okay? All of that inside. Oh, just delicious. Make sure you get the garlic in there. Now, I would serve in the pan straight to the table, to be honest with you. Or if you're lucky and you've got one of the kind of like a tagine or one of the kind of clay terracotta plates that you get in Spain, perfect, works really well. The halloumi, another 30 seconds before we plate up. Right, I'm gonna turn this off. Let's turn that off. Let's get my halloumi out. All right, scoop-a-doo. I mean, you cannot get more of a medley of dishes than this. Let's bring the halloumi up. That halloumi just, look at that, it just got nice and soft. I would another minute or so, you'd have been absolutely perfect, but we're okay like that. Bring the tomatoes up. The tomatoes are just softening, just starting to blister. Look at that, you got your cheese. Oh, so good. There we are. I know you've got, the lights are flashing at me, saying time is up, but this is worth the wait. Right, bit of tomato in there, like so. A little bit of the juice. Don't want to waste any of that. 5 Mediterranean-inspired dishes, except for the guacamole, all within 20 minutes. If I can do it, I think you're more than capable of doing it as well.